So with Derrick Henry right now destroying for the Baltimore Ravens, I thought let's add another player from the Ravens history that a lot of fans seem to love. And that of course is the ex Arizona Cardinals wide receiver, Anquan Boldin. If you guys did not see Anquan back when he was with the Cardinals against the Jets, he actually split his face open. Like, he got hit so hard, his face surgically glued to his face mask. And he literally, half of his face was ripped off his face. And he had to get through surgery and all a bunch of crap. It is absolutely insane that he came back, played, and won a Super Bowl with the Baltimore Ravens. So, with that being said, this is the 2024 Baltimore Ravens. As always, when we do the simulation videos, we will go ahead and do two different simulations. The first one will be with me just adding the player like this, and the second one is just to make sure the first one wasn't a dud. Usually the second one is always better, so that's why I like to do it. And starting off this simulation, the Ravens do go ahead and beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, usually in Madden simulations, the Ravens sim very, very well. Most simulations I do, they go 15-2, 13-4, 14-3. It's usually always one of the best teams in the AFC. So, I'm not expecting anything different than this. I mean, reality-wise, all we did was add a elite wide receiver to this offense. And in Madden, usually Lamar Jackson isn't like craziest when it comes to throwing the football. He doesn't go out there and throw the football like 1,000 yards. Like 5,000 yards. Usually he's averaging around like 36 to 4,000. But still, you know, having an elite receiver would definitely help. In real life, having an elite receiver like this in Todd Monken's offense would be absolutely amazing. Todd Monken did come over from Georgia, and that, of course, is a pass-heavy offense with Stetson Bennett, which obviously right now he is on the Rams. So taking a look at the stats so far going into the bye week, Lamar had just under 3,000 yards, 15 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 890 yards on the ground for Derrick Henry, and this is why, again, in Madden, the Ravens are always so successful. It's because they always have 16 touchdowns with Lamar Jackson. He averages around 16 to 20 per franchise sim. Anquan Boldin currently leading the team in receiving yards. Justin Matabuke, which actually is kind of funny because Madden has not updated his name yet. His name is no longer Justin Matabuke. His name is now Nnamdi Matabuke. So apparently when he came over to America, he actually had to choose a name, so he chose Justin, but now he is changing his name back to his actual name, which is Nnamdi Matabuke. So Madden has not updated that yet, it looks like. Not sure if they're going to, but I'm sure, you know, eventually he might say something to EA and say, hey, listen, my name is, you know, Nnamdi Matabuke, not Justin. Anyway, though, 11-6 and won the AFC North for the Ravens here. So not as good as I expected them to go. Again, like I said, usually the second simulation we see a lot better results. But Lamar did have 3,800 yards, 21 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Did have 20 touchdowns on the ground, which is pretty typical of Lamar. And Anquan did have 1,100 yards and 5 touchdowns in this season performance. Nnamdi Matabuke did have 15.5 sacks, and Roquan Smith had 3 interceptions. Kind of interesting how the linebacking core had the most interceptions there. Lamar does come in at 4 for MVP race, and for Offensive Player of the Year, he did win that. Now, sadly, Anquan Boldin did not win that. Personally, I love Anquan. He is one of my favorite wide receivers of all time. He's on my top 10 list. Even though he wasn't the best receiver of all time, he's still a receiver that I really do like and admire. So, overall wise, this was a guilty pleasure making this video because I would love to see Anquan Boldin, you know, back in his prime in the league again. Obviously, we can't do that with a time machine, but he was absolutely just dominant, man. He was a go up and get him type of guy, a field stretcher. He could really just take any hit possible, and nothing could ever stop him. Even splitting his face open still didn't stop him. He came back, and 4 weeks later, after splitting his face open, and played football again. Like, again, normal stuff like that would, for a normal person, take them out of football, maybe make them reconsider their football career. That's not the case with Anquan. Anquan was a tough son of a gun. Ironically enough, you know, you got two tough son of a guns on the Ravens wide receiving core over the years. You got Anquan, and then you had Steve Smith-Senior, who went over there from Carolina. Another guy who's a tough, gritty type of, you know, gulp and get him type of guy. So kind of funny how you had both those receivers, both on the Ravens. And then you also had Derek Mason, who left Tennessee and went over to the Ravens way back in the day, back in 2006, which again, you know, another guy, tough, gritty type of guy. I remember back in the day when Ravens-Lions game, Derek Mason had a broken arm in the game, and he still played. He played with a broken arm the rest of the season. And he caught a slant route in the Lions game, got hit by two Lions defenders, still held on to the ball, and ran for an 80-yard touchdown. Had a broken arm, got absolutely smashed on the play, didn't give up the ball, and played the rest of the game. Which obviously nowadays is a little bit different than back in the day. Back in the day, players would get hurt, and they would still play games, and they would still, you know, they would still play at a very high level. Nowadays, especially with medical science, we've learned, you know, doing that kind of stuff isn't the smartest and can really hurt you long term. But back in the day, I mean, football players were just tough son of the guns. Like, they did not care, and they just did whatever. So I actually just simulated it and realized that it didn't actually have Anquan Boldin in the lineup correctly. So we gotta sim this again, and hopefully this time we're good. Because again, like I said, just simulated, didn't work. Because I didn't have Anquan Boldin in the depth chart. For whatever reason, if you don't, like, put him at number 1, it messes up, and it always puts him, like, at number 6 or 7. It's the most annoying thing ever. Alright, so let's see how this simulation goes. My guess is, again, better than 11-6, especially with Anquan. I'm expecting a better than 11-6 record here, but let's see what the Ravens end up going in this simulation. And they end up getting a first round bye. They go 15-2. They win the AFC. Also, a little side note, I think when I sim it like this, when I sim it in the aspect of simming it all at once rather than game by game, I think also that does make the team do better. I'm starting to realize that too. 25 touchdowns, 1 interception, 4,100 yards for Lamar Jackson. He also had 15 touchdowns on the ground. Anquan only hitting 1,094 yards and 4 touchdowns. So kind of less than what I expected there, but I mean, I guess overall wise, it is what it is. Lamar does not win MVP because that does go to Patty Mahomes. So the Ravens do get that first round bye. So let's see what happens in the divisional. They do play the New York Jets, who are currently 12-5, and they beat the 12-5 Jets. They play the 13-4 Miami Dolphins, and I'm gonna guess that they beat that team as well. Let's sim forward 1 week. We got the Pro Bowl. And no, they actually lose to the Dolphins. They lose to the Dolphins, and to the Dolphins go to the Super Bowl. So Ravens lose another AFC Championship game in the end here. But let's just take a look real fast. How did that championship go for the Ravens? League schedule, give me the conference championship. So they lose this game by 8 points in the end to Tua Tagovailoa. I'm completely butchered his name. What is it? Tagovailoa. I'm gonna butcher it. I'm not gonna try actually. Even in the end, Anquan had 101 yards and a touchdown in that game, but the Ravens did lose that game in the end. So we do have our Super Bowl, which is the Miami Dolphins going ahead and losing to the San Francisco 49ers. 49ers winning their first Super Bowl since 1995. Guys, tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. Make sure to like and subscribe down below if you are indeed new. I'll see you guys in the next one.